Mr. Smith. How are you?
I'm doing well, buddy. How are you?
Fine, thank you. I really appreciate you doing this interview.
I like your shirt.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we just got it in the mail this afternoon, so I decided to put it on.
Perfect. I just pulled in from visiting my mom.
Oh.
So I just pulled in the door. How are you?
Good. I'm great. So.
Can you see me okay?
Actually, right now I cannot see you.
Okay, I don't know if I'm doing anything correctly or incorrectly.
I'm not sure. I just see like the little person icon, so I'm not really sure.
Let me see if I can put on video. How's that?
There we go. It's working now.
All right, buddy.
Okay, so just so you know, this has to be recorded, so it's just gonna be recorded. So
All right, I don't have a problem with that. You're not gonna ask me any tricky questions or any sneak questions?
No, I don't think so. Just basic, like, kind of educational stuff.
Sure. So, how long do you think this will take?
Not that long. It should take about maybe, like 5 to 10 minutes?
No problem, buddy.
Okay. So, here's the first question. So about how much and what type of education and training did you receive in the Navy, like, before you became a SEAL?
Well, I joined the Navy when I was still in high school. So I finished up high school and went straight into the Navy, and then from there I went to Navy boot camp. And from Navy boot camp, I went into what they call A school to give you a technical training, where I learned to be a welder. And then I went to basic underwater demolition SEAL training, BUDS, straight from there. So from the time I joined the Navy, went through boot camp and A school, and I started SEAL training within about 10 months of joining the Navy.
Oh, okay. So after being in the Navy, how much and what type of work experience do you have now?
Okay, while I was in the Navy, obviously the education that you get in the SEAL teams is usually very, it's kind of in the same bracket of your pay grade and your rank. So the way the SEAL teams work is that they give you skills that are kind of commensurate with your age and your experience in the SEAL teams.
Oh, okay.
So they might start you out as a representative for the supply chain for your group. So you're having to be organized about keeping ordering gear for the guys and equipment and making sure that you're doing all the paperwork correctly. So they're making sure that you have a fiduciary responsibility early on. And then, like, the next thing I did was I learned how to be an outboard motor mechanic, so we can take care of our motors. And then they start teaching you things that have a kind of a tactical leadership side to them. So where I would be a diving supervisor for diving operations, I would be learning how to be in charge of the set up the training and the execution of diving operations. And then from there, you would go into maybe a sniper school to learn how to be expert marksman. And then from there, maybe to learn how to be a jump master. After being a free fall parachutist, you learn how to be a jump master. So you can jump in there. A logical thing would be maybe explosives, teaching you explosives. And personally, for me, I did things a little bit differently than most. I was an enlisted SEAL for 15 years. And then I got a commission and I became an officer. And I was an officer for 15 years. So once my officer career started, a lot of those hard skill things that I just mentioned to you are usually left to the enlisted guy. And the officers go through leadership training. Now, of course, when I became a chief petty officer, we went through some leadership training. But when my officer career started, it was a lot of leadership courses taught at the Navy Postgraduate School or maybe at Newport, Rhode Island, where Navy leadership is focused on. So a lot of leadership training from that point on.
Gotcha, thank you. So what did you like and dislike about like your job as being a Navy SEAL?
I didn't really dislike anything. I was very, very fortunate to having the opportunity to do something that I loved for as long as I did it. I would say the things that I loved the most was the camaraderie. Something that's very important, Ben, that I think that maybe you can share with whomever you do with is that it's very important to put team and mission very well ahead of self. So if you put your teammates and your mission ahead of you, you're willing to sacrifice and commit to hard work.
Yes.
The rest of it follows suit.
Yes, sir.
So I think that it's important for people to understand. One of the things that's great about the SEAL teams, to me, has been that the very people that I went through training with 30 years ago, I went up through the ranks with and I served with, we became very reliant on one another. None of us were as good by ourselves as we were as a whole. So I'm sure you see that in lacrosse.
Yes, sir.
You understand that the importance of team is so much more than the importance of self.
Okay, yeah, that's perfect answer to my question. Thank you. So did you see a relationship between the amount of stress and the increase in your salary over years of work? And I know some of these questions are going to sound kind of weird, but I didn't make them. Our teacher made them.
That's fine.
So.
Just repeat that question again.
Okay. Did you see a relationship between the amount of stress and the increase of your salary over your years of work?
Well, something that's also important for your audience to understand is that the service for our country, the salary is not commensurate with the years.
Exactly.
On the outside world, the amount of years and of course you have to be successful in what you do. That usually makes you jump ahead of your peers. In the military and especially in the SEAL teams, from what I can speak to, is that your salary, it goes at a snail's pace. The mission is what's most important. I will say that the amount of responsibility had a great deal to do with the amount of stress. So as you pick up rank and gain prestige amongst your teammates, you also gain the amount of responsibility. And when you gain responsibility, the stress level, of course, goes up.
Okay. So, I mean, I know that sometimes you were deployed and stuff, but how many hours did you usually work in a week?
We always said that we worked half days. 12 hours a day.
12 hours a day.
When you're deployed overseas, there aren't any real working hours. You're working sometimes 24/7. You work till the job gets done. Nobody really says, "Oh, I've been working more hours than the other guy." Everybody's pulling their weight. You'll see in some of the things I'm sure you watched, Ben, on Bud's training. You learn this by carrying a boat as a team.
Yes.
Your head, and also doing like log PT with the logs.
All misery.
It's all misery. As soon as one person isn't pulling their weight, everybody feels it.
Yes, sir.
So there are no real hours. I will tell you that the longest periods of time that I was deployed, I think I did about 4 years where I was deployed overseas for close to 300 days a year.
Wow. Okay. I know this is also a weird question because you were deployed to all around the world, but did you travel a lot? And if so, how much and to what kinds of places? Was traveling to all of these places a benefit or an added stress?
I wouldn't say it was a stress at all. I think it was a blessing. We traveled all over the world. I enjoyed the culture. I think people are inherently good, so we usually met some great people, your citizens and such. Most of the places we went were pretty austere. They were often poor. And many of these countries were the people that we had a chance to meet, they were being bullied by the groups that were running the country at the time. So there's a good and a bad side to the travel. I really can't think of too many places that I didn't like for some reason or another. There's some that I liked more. I really enjoyed the Amazon River Basin, for example. It was just fascinating. You know, I'm sure you and all your friends watched National Geographic.
Yes, sir.
Be able to live National Geographic was an absolute blessing. So I traveled a lot and I enjoyed every bit of it.
Okay, last question. What would you have done differently and the same with regards to your career as being a Navy SEAL?
What I might have done differently is I said earlier that I was an enlisted man for 15 years and then an officer for 15. I think I probably would have made that transition earlier. I don't regret any of the time as an enlisted guy, but it really limited my ability to get into positions where I was really affecting policy, which is what a lot of senior officers hate, but it's a wonderful experience to be able to write policy. So I might have done that a little bit differently. I don't think that I would have done less time. I did 30 years almost. And, you know, 9/11 changed this country. You're a little bit young to remember, but it really changed this country. And I had the, you know, it was a blessing to watch Americans rally for our freedom and the freedom of others. So it was a wonderful experience.
You were on the Hudson River, weren't you?
I was a child right outside of New York City in the 60s watching the Twin Towers be built. And I was probably about your age, maybe a little younger, when we used to visit them on class trips as they were being built. And then on September 11th, I had 20 years in and was considering retiring. And I was with my brother-in-law fishing on the Hudson River, and I watched the planes strike the buildings. So that pretty much changed my mind about retiring. I had another 10 good years in me anyway.
Yes, sir. So you retired.
I was very fortunate to step into the Navy SEAL Foundation. So.
Yes, sir. So you retired in 2011? Sorry.
No, I retired in 2011, yes.
2011?
Yep.
Okay, well, so those were all the questions for the interview, so thank you a lot for doing that. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, and when you can work it out with your dad, we'd be more than happy to host you here at our home.
Oh, same for us. Take you
around to a few places and further your interest in the SEAL teams.
Yes, sir. Is Leif or Jack Henry? Jack Henry might be a little older, but is Leif? You guys going to the Williamsburg tournament this fall?
Hey, Leif. Can you come in here, Leif? Ben's got a question for you.
What's up, Ben?
What's up?
How's it going?
Good. How are you? Are you guys going to the Williamsburg tournament this fall?
Well, I know we're doing 2 tournaments, and actually, I think one of them is the Williamsburg one.
Okay, so we're going up there too, so we might see each other there.
Well, make sure your parents reach out to us and build in some extra time.
Definitely. Okay, thank you so much for doing that. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, buddy.
Okay, see ya.
Good luck. If you need any more help, just give me a call.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're
Bye.
welcome, pal. Take care.
Bye.